Here's the trick the refrigerator industry doesn't want you to understand. A fridge that survives its first year looks like a win. No leaks, no warm milk, no service call, so you relax. But the failures built into the machines on lots right now aren't designed to hit in year 1. They're timed to land in year 4, 5, 6, right after the warranty dies, and right before you'd ever suspect a brand new fridge of betraying you. These machines don't break loudly. They fail quietly. How quietly? One of the most popular names in America quietly extended its compressor warranty to 10 years, and a company only stretches a warranty to a decade when it already knows the part doesn't last that long. Another brand drew more federal complaints than any refrigerator maker on record, hundreds of them citing spoiled food and dozens citing food poisoning. Consumer Reports now estimates that nearly 1 in 3 fridges with an ice maker will have a problem by the end of year 5. 1 in 3. Today we expose the 7 refrigerator brands quietly failing in 2026 and the 5 that still last. Number 1 on the lasting side is American-built and engineered to run for 20 years. But first, the ones counting on you not to notice until the warranty's gone. Number 7, Hisense. Hisense is what happens when a brand competes on one number only, the price on the sticker. At $400 to $900, a Hisense fridge is among the cheapest new units you can buy, and every dollar they shaved off shows up somewhere you'll feel later. Thin insulation that makes the compressor run harder and longer to hold temperature. Lightweight plastic shelving and door bins that crack under a normal grocery load. Basic, imprecise temperature control that freezes your lettuce 1 week and lets your dairy drift warm the next. The real killer is the back end. Hisense doesn't have the service network or the parts pipeline of an established brand. So when something fails and on a build this thin, something will you're hunting for components that take weeks to arrive, if they arrive at all. The math is the false economy you already know. You save $200 at the register, then you're shopping again in year 5 while a sturdier fridge is barely broken in, cheapest up front, most expensive per year. You actually own it. Number 6. Frigidaire. Frigidaire is the badge people grab when they want a name they recognize without paying name brand money. What they don't realize is that Frigidaire is Electrolux's discount label, same parent as the pricier European machines, but engineered down to a number instead of up to a standard. At $600 to $1,500, it isn't shockingly cheap, and that's exactly the trap, because the price tag whispers real brand, while the build delivers entry level. Owners report control boards giving out in the 3 to 5 year window, ice makers that clog and quit, and door seals that wear early and let the cold leak out. None of it is catastrophic on day 1. All of it shows up right around the time the warranty expires. Frigidaire sells you the comfort of a familiar logo at a price that quietly guarantees you'll be back in the appliance aisle sooner than you planned. Number 5. Haier. Haier built an empire on cheap, and cheap is exactly what you get. Thin builds, short lifespans, minimal support fridges engineered for apartments and garages where nobody expects them to last a decade. Sold to people who assume a new fridge always will. Here's the part worth knowing. Haier is one of the largest appliance makers on the planet, and it owns GE appliances. The lesson isn't that everything Haier touches is doomed. It isn't. The lesson is that the badge on the door tells you almost nothing about what's inside. A Haier-badged budget fridge and a premium fridge can share a corporate parent and share nothing else. You're not buying a company. You're buying a specific machine at a specific price, and the cheap Haier badge is built to a cheap Haier price. Number 4. Kenmore. Kenmore used to mean something. For decades it was Sears' house brand, and it stood for solid, no-nonsense appliances that simply worked. Then Sears collapsed, and Kenmore became something stranger. A ghost brand. Kenmore doesn't manufacture anything. It's a name licensed onto machines built by other companies, sometimes LG, sometimes Whirlpool, sometimes Frigidaire, with no unified standard tying them together. That's the quiet failure baked into the badge. When you buy a Kenmore, you don't actually know whose refrigerator you're getting, which means you inherit whoever made its problems with none of the accountability. A Kenmore with an log-built linear compressor inside fails the same way an LG does. Owners have watched their Kenmore die and only then learned there was a compressor inside that's been the subject of class action, litigation. And when it breaks, you're chasing parts from a manufacturer whose name isn't even on the door, through a brand whose support structure largely vanished with the stores that sold it. It's a mystery box with a trusted name on the outside and no one home on the inside. Number 3. Viking and the whole pro-style trap. This is the most expensive lie in the kitchen because it costs the most to fall for. Viking and the professional style category sell you a fantasy. The heavy commercial look, the restaurant aesthetic, the price tag north of $7,000. The promise is that luxury money buys luxury reliability. The data says the opposite. Pro-style refrigerators, as a category, generate service calls at rates well above mainstream fridges. The worst-tested brand in the entire market, by one major retailer's service data, is a pro-style named Blue Star, with a failure rate near 64%. Not a typo. Almost 2 in 3. The looks are real. The reliability is not. You're paying a 5-figure premium for stainless and presence, and inheriting more failure points, more proprietary parts, and repair bills that match the prestige. When you pay restaurant kitchen money and get worse than average dependability, the premium didn't buy you a better fridge. It bought you a better-looking one to stand next to while you wait for a technician. If this is saving you from a 4-figure mistake, subscribe. Every breakdown on this channel follows the money under the badge, not the marketing on the door. No brand deals, no sponsorships. Just the service data and the price tag. Number 2, LG. LG is the quiet failure perfected, and the irony is that it starts by looking great. Out of the box, LG fridges post some of the lowest first-year service rates in the entire industry. That's the hook. You buy it, year 1 is flawless. You tell your friends it's the best fridge you've ever owned. Then the linear compressor, the heart of the machine, the part LG marketed as a 20-year component, starts to die. Not at year 1. At year 4, 5, 6, right past the standard warranty. This isn't a rumor. LG has faced and settled class action litigation over these compressors, and the settlement forced LG to extend compressor coverage to 10 years, the corporate equivalent of admitting the part fails. New suits are still being filed. Owners describe the exact same script over and over. A clicking compressor, a fridge that's suddenly room temperature, hundreds of dollars in spoiled food, and a repair, quote, north of $1,000 to replace the failed part with often the same part. A fridge that looks like a champion for 3 years and a brick in the 4th isn't reliable. It's a time bomb with a beautiful door. Number 1, Samsung. This is the brand from the cold open, and the record speaks louder than any marketing ever could. Between 2019 and 2021, Samsung refrigerators drew more complaints to the Federal Consumer Safety Database than any other manufacturer, hundreds of them, with over 200 citing food spoilage and dozens citing food poisoning. The culprit is the same one owners have begged Samsung to fix for years: the indoor ice maker on its French door models, which freezes over, clogs, leaks water inside and outside the cabinet, and demands manual defrosting on a machine that's supposed to do the opposite of that. It became a class action case. It became a meme. Never buy a Samsung refrigerator is something actual owners type out, unprompted, in review after review. And it fits the quiet failure pattern exactly. The machine photographs like a dream in the showroom, runs beautifully at first, and then the failures accumulate quietly, until you're defrosting an ice maker with a hairdryer on a fridge you paid $2,500 for. Samsung sells the most beautiful refrigerator on the floor. It also generated the worst complaint record on file. When the gorgeous machine is also the most complained about machine in America, that's not bad luck. That's the product. That's the failing side. 7 badges quietly trading your money for showroom looks and built-in expiration dates. Now, the 5 that still last. Number 5. Amana. Amana is the cheapest, honest fridge in the store, and that's exactly why it earns a spot. A basic Amana top freezer runs $500 to $800, about as little as you can spend on a new refrigerator with a real warranty. The secret is that Amana is a Whirlpool brand. Same corporate parent, same proven parts ecosystem, stripped to the essentials and sold without the premium markup. No touch screen to die, no indoor ice maker to clog, no smart features to drop offline. Just a simple machine that keeps cold things cold. Because the guts are shared with Whirlpool's mainstream line, parts are everywhere and cheap, and any independent tech in the country can fix it without a proprietary laptop. Amana isn't glamorous. It's the generic drug with the identical active ingredient. You skip the brand tax, keep the reliability, and spend the difference on literally anything else. Number 4. Whirlpool. When repair technicians, the people who actually see which fridges come back, are asked which brands they trust, Whirlpool is one of the names that comes up the most. That's the whole pitch, and it's a strong one. A Whirlpool fridge at $700 to $2,000 gives you simple, proven, repairable engineering, backed by the largest parts and service network in the country. The quiet failure problem is partly a complexity problem. Every screen, sensor, and gadget is one more thing to break. Whirlpool's mainstream machines lean the other way, fewer points of failure, components refined across decades of enormous production volume, and when something does eventually wear, the part is in stock at every supply house and cheap enough that you fix it instead of replacing the whole unit. Whirlpool also owns the badges higher up the price ladder, which means you can buy the honest workhorse directly instead of paying extra for a costume. It won't dazzle you in the showroom. It'll just still be running in your kitchen in 15 years. Number 3. Bosch. Bosch is what happens when engineering, not marketing, sets the priorities. In Consumer Reports 2026 testing, Bosch posts the top score among French door refrigerators, and the reason is genuine hardware, not a feature list. Most fridges run a single compressor shared between the fridge and freezer. Bosch's 800 series uses 2 separate compressors, one for each compartment, which keeps temperatures more stable, reduces humidity transfer, and keeps your food fresher longer. On top of that, Bosch machines are some of the quietest on the market, efficient on power, and built with the kind of fit and finish you feel the moment you pull the door. At $1,500 to $3,500, Bosch isn't charging Viking money for a Viking gamble. It's charging a fair premium for German precision that the lab data actually backs up. The dollars go into the engineering, not the badge. Number 2. Miele. Miele is the premium pick that earns the word. Where the pro-style brands charge 5 figures for showroom looks and below-average reliability, Miele runs its appliances through punishing lifespan testing and then builds them to survive it. The price is real $3,000 to $6,000 and beyond, and this is the top tier of the everyday list. But what you're buying is metal, where competitors use plastic, dual-compartment refrigeration, a German factory that has obsessed over one category for over a century, and a reputation among repair techs as a machine that simply doesn't generate calls. The features exist because they work, not because they photograph well. If you keep a fridge for 2 decades and you'd rather buy once than buy 3 times, Miele is the brand that makes the spreadsheet work, expensive and honest about why. Number 1. Sub-Zero. You've seen Sub-Zero in luxury kitchens, and the instinct is to write it off as a status symbol. Look closer, because Sub-Zero is the genuine buy-it-for-life refrigerator, and almost everything the failing brands fake, Sub-Zero actually delivers. It's American-made, built in Wisconsin by a company that's still independent and family-owned. Not a badge inside a global conglomerate, but but a manufacturer that has done one thing since 1945. And it's engineered and lab-tested to last 20 years or more, roughly double the industry average. Repair techs routinely service Sub-Zero units that are 30 years old and still running. The engineering is the real thing. A dual compressor system that keeps the fridge and freezer in separate, stable climates. Industrial-grade materials that hold temperature precision for decades. And a warranty structure that backs it up. Full coverage up front and sealed system coverage running out to 12 years. The kind of guarantee you only offer when you know the machine will be there to honor it. Yes, Sub-Zero costs the most on this list, but unlike the pro-style pretenders, every dollar goes into a machine actually built to outlast your kitchen. And here's the value flip that ties this whole video together. The single most common failure point in modern refrigerators is the ice maker and dispenser. So, the fridge that lasts longest is often the one with the fewest gadgets to break. Sub-Zero earns number 1 by building the gadgets to last. Whirlpool and Amana earn their spots by skipping them. Either path beats paying premium money for a beautiful machine engineered to quit the month after the warranty does. Across all 12 brands, one pattern holds. The industry quietly traded durability for ice makers, touchscreens, and thinner builds, then priced the failure as a feature and the warranty to expire just before the bill comes due. A fridge surviving its first year tells you almost nothing. What matters is who built it, whether the same parent sells an honest version without the markup, and how many gadgets are waiting to fail. So, before you spend, do 3 things. Find out who actually manufactures the machine behind the badge. Ask how the brand performs in year 5, not year 1. And remember that the part most likely to break is the one dispensing your ice, so the simpler the fridge, the longer it tends to live. Which one surprised you most? Drop it in the comments. And if this saved you from a fridge built to quietly quit, subscribe. We follow the money under the badge every single time.